When they first unveiled this car to the public, I immediately went, this could be the best VW R product they've put on sale. It's the right size, it looks great, and it is properly fast. And since R products aren't really track cars or something similar to that, they're more like baby Audi RS products in my eyes at least, a mid-size R SUV makes the most sense, right? Well, as it turns out, after 7 days of driving this car, things aren't so black and white anymore. First off, let me show you around this hot SUV, the 2021 Tiguan R, and you can tell it's an R product by the obvious lapis blue paint job and by all the sporty bits around the car. The big and quite muscular front bumper, the standard 21-inch alloys, and of course the two twin tailpipes at the back. And even though this car is equipped with the optional Akrapovic exhaust, even the standard car with the standard exhaust has the same two tailpipe setup. Beside that, this car also features bigger brakes, of course, and adaptive dampers as standard. But beside that, all the rest is standard Tiguan. Facelifted Tiguan, mind you, with the new front grille and new headlights. Now, in here is where the disappointing bits are, at least as far as I'm concerned. You do get these nice seats with some Alcantara and the R logo on the backrest, but I think only the top part is new and the base is standard Tiguan. Then you have the door seals and this quite cool steering wheel with the extended paddles taken straight from the Mark 8 Golf R. And unfortunately, these are all the R specific bits on the inside of the car. The rest is just a mix between the old tech VW and the new tech VW. What do I mean by that? Well, if you have a closer look, you'll see this car retains the old gear lever, the old infotainment system, the old digital instrument cluster, and basically the whole dash is the old style design. It even has old dials here on the left to turn your headlights on and off. The only new interior VW style bits this car has is basically this climate control unit, which is all touch sensitive areas for all the controls. I would have preferred more quality materials on the inside, considering how much this car costs, but more on the price later on in the video. And I would also have loved the digital instrument cluster from the Golf R, which has an R specific look and it's more configurable than this one. But yeah, it is what it is. Now let's get back to the more interesting part of this car: how it drives. Now, is this thing fast? Hell yeah it is. It's basically got the same power unit as the Golf R, a 2-liter turbocharged petrol engine producing 320 horsepower. Drive goes to all four wheels, and in the middle sits a 7-speed DSG transmission. Now, despite the obvious weight differences, the Tiguan R is only 0.2 of a second slower to 100 km per hour compared to a Mark 8 Golf R. And let me tell you, from behind the steering wheel, this car feels just as fast. However, not the same can be said about cornering. The Tiguan R leans quite a bit in the bends, and as you would expect, it's quite a lot more understeery compared to the Golf R. try and rotate this car with the throttle mid-corner, and there's a very good chance you might end up in the ditch on the other side of the road. As far as the suspension goes, you do feel the dampers being firmer than your standard Tiguan, but they're nowhere near the harshness of a Mark 8 Golf R. And the result of all of this is quite a good driving SUV, if I do say so myself. The engine is very good, to say the least. It's quite responsive, it's very torquey, and yeah, like I've said, even though this car is heavier than a Mark 8 Golf R, in the real world you won't be able to tell the difference. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how nimble or how agile or how eager it is to turn into a corner this car, because it's not. The center of gravity is quite high, the suspension travel is significant, so you won't be able to wring its neck on twisty roads like this. You won't be able to take it to the limit. But having said that, this car is quite an interesting proposition from VW. It's quite a spacious and practical car, and despite being an R product, you don't really lose too much of the comfort a standard Tiguan has to offer. And at the end of the day, it's quite fun to drive around these twisty roads over here. So why isn't this the best R product on sale right now, since it can do basically anything? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let me explain. It's the price. This car costs, without options, around 52,000 euros. And while the standard equipment is pretty decent, some of the higher end options are quite expensive. As soon as you start speccing one, you add a nice color, a big infotainment screen, and a nice sound system, you quickly jump over 55,000 euros. And if you want the Akrapovic exhaust, that alone will set you back around 4,000 euros. And in that 55 to 60,000 euro price range, this car's got some tough competition. The Alfa Romeo Stelvio, for instance, in the Veloce spec with a 280 horsepower engine under the bonnet, is cheaper. Then we have the Audi Q5, and even the Porsche Macan gets very close to that price range. And if you ask me, at this level, the Tiguan doesn't have the interior quality and tech to match any of the cars I've just mentioned. And as a final thought, a conclusion if I may, the Tiguan R is a really great package overall, but its price is making this a very hard to justify purchase. So there you go, this is the 2021 VW Tiguan R. Let me know what you think about this car in the comments section down below. But that's been it for today's video, my friends. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up to please YouTube's algorithm, and make sure you're subscribed for plenty more videos to come.